Okay, so hopefully our sound issues have been solved. Um, so let me first get back into FaceRig and recalibrate. I don't know why it makes my head kind of lean to the side when I'm not. There you go. Okay. No more babies gargling. Yeah. Let's answer this question real quick. Streaming now. We'll record and upload the recording to YouTube later. Okay, so let's get back to business here. So technical issues hopefully being resolved. On my laptop, I have many screens open. I have Gray, which is me. My name is Gray. I am the creator and owner of the mud called coremud.org, and we are getting ready to have our New Year's Eve celebration in a few days that will kind of kick off our 25th year of operations. And we went live January at the stroke of midnight. Stroke of midnight, January 1st, 1996, folks. And back then, just to give you a little history lesson, the host machine was a Tandy 386 with, gosh, I don't even think we had 4 gig of RAM back then. I think it was probably like a 2 gig, maybe 4, but probably 2 gig of RAM. Probably, I don't even know if we had 2 CPU cores. I think it was just a single 386 chip. And yeah, Meg. No, I think probably had 2 gig. I don't know. Maybe it was in the megabyte range, as Nigel was saying. Um, so um, we had a little hard drive, and the operating system was uh, Slackware Linux 2.0, which was one of the first ones that we could get for free back then in the mid 90s. We back then in the mid 90s, we didn't have many choices for getting a Linux operating system, and then I, of course, back then I was not too far out of college, very early in my career, and kind of living month to month, so on, or even paycheck to paycheck. So I really couldn't afford a nice machine, so I actually went into debt to get that stupid Tandy. So I think about a year and a half in, I was so excited because we got a 486 upgrade where I could pop out that 386 chip and pop in the 486, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so much faster. And likewise, bumping up from a 4800 baud modem to 9600 baud, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is screaming. Fast forward to today. So a little story as to how the Coremud game got kind of resurrected, and we are really getting excited about what's coming. Um, so we've been on a host provider for the last several years, and we it was pretty cheap. I mean, it was very affordable. It was like $15 a month that covered the server, covered, that would be someone's asking, what's a host machine? That is the server that runs the game. So we've been on this host provider, so they hosted the website for us. They hosted the game. They took care of intrusion prevention, so they would, do things like they would catch brute force login attempts and stuff like that, stuff that I couldn't do myself. So I hosted this thing out of my house for years, but it got to the point where I was getting hacked. We were getting brute force attacks, people running port scans against the machine. It just became a real hassle. So, you know what? Let's just move this thing over, let a professional deal with it, and I'll just run the game. So we did that for quite some time, and I got an email from them about a month ago saying they're going out of business, and because they've been in business for a long time, and the number of MUDs that they've been hosting went from somewhere in the high 60s to low 70s down to 9, and coremud being one of those 9. And they needed to do a bunch of upgrades on the machine, and they couldn't afford to do that with just 9 games, paying the monthly, $15 a month subscription fee. So they were saying, you guys got to find another host or you have to shut down. So we scrambled and we found another provider who's been actually extremely generous. They have given one of our staff members a discount on the price. I'm not going to reveal that person's name because I don't want to get them in trouble. But we are very grateful to that person and also to the person that they've been working with to get our server up and running on the new machine. We are on a faster machine. Our previous server by the host was running a 32-bit processor. We're now back on modern 64-bit processing technology. And in so doing, we've fixed a bunch of problems that have been haunting Core the last, probably 3 or 4 years. So combat works, our mining system works, all the timers, all the automatic stuff that's supposed to fire off, stuff that used to work 10 years ago, it works again perfectly. So we're very excited. So we are looking at, I'm one of the reasons I'm doing this stream tonight is I am getting prepared to play a little mischief with the players. So I'm going to be playing a little mischief. We're going to be running a couple events and have a little fun. And so before I get into it, there is one question that came up several times on one of the YouTube videos that I uploaded, which is, what software am I using to do the CG for this character that is on the bottom right hand corner of your screen? That software is available through Steam, and it is called FaceRig, all one word, FACERIG. They are supporting it through the end of 2021, and then they're coming out with a new version. So they are going to be running some kind of a sale between now and then. So you might be able to get it at a discount. So that being said, and by the way, I am not a paid shill. One of the things, if you are brand new to the MUD gaming genre, is a lot of us are subject to restrictions under a copyright, multiple copyrights in play here that essentially prohibit us from charging a dime for players getting into the game. So all of this that you're about to see was all created by volunteers, just donating their time. I did a lot of it, but also I've had a lot of helpers along the way. So I really do appreciate how we've gotten to this point. That being said, I'm now going to get into the game. I have here on the upper left-hand corner of the screen, I tried to make the font as large as possible, because I know how hard it is to see in YouTube and in Twitch. So I'm looking at the recast here, and it looks pretty decent. So I'm using a game client called Portal, and you can see already it looks a lot different from vanilla telnet. There's also lots of other MUD clients available. We have set up Portal so that we have these nice little status bars at the bottom of the screen. It also has a little message at the bottom left that an admin can set. Steve sucks, he plays with Ragman's Legos. So there's a kind of a broadcast that goes out. It's only seen by it's only seen by people who actually use who use Portal client or another client that uses a similar protocol. There is a Zugsoft has a client called CMUD, as in the letter C, and then the word mud, all one word, not SEE, but C. And there's a ton of other clients that are available as well. So you can pick and choose. Some of them are shareware, some are, you know, open source. Steve here, who's one of our staff members, he's working on a GMCP client, which will kind of make more options available. And we are hoping one day we'll be able to extend everything that you're about to see on my screen, all the different bells and whistles, sounds and all that, that we want to make that available for Mac and also for people who are using like Linux and so on. But yeah, so let's get into it. So I have created a brand new character, and that's the screen that you're seeing right now. Just kind of get through here. First time through, I see the news, and get through the news. You only see the news one time, and until it changes. And if you want to see it again, you just type the command news, and you get it all over again. You get our Discord link or whatever it is that you're interested in. Very first step that you need to do in the game, you have to pick your race. So here we have a sign. You see, if you can see color, you type look sign, and it tells you follow our naming policy. We don't like 1337 hacker elite. Okay, gives you a couple other little things that you can do, and then we type read list to see what races are available. And if you just want to just get in and play the game, you just pick human, and human is kind of vanilla. You get all the standard limb. By the way, this is a limb based game in terms of how combat works. So some of these characters will have different limbs and different pros and cons. Cyborg, as an example, is, I think, a harder race to play because you only get one wielding limb. You get a right hand. Your left pincer cannot cannot wield a weapon, and it's harder to get equipment that fits all the special stuff that you have. Some of these other ones, Blit, Abernon, all that, it's all fun. A lot of them are they're all humanoid races, so you're not going to be doing anything weird. Varach, if you want to pick a kind of a brute character, in fact, yeah, Varach is kind of like he's the brute squad. So you can, for any one of these, you can help races, and you can see a little chart that talks about, the adjustments that you get. So the statistics do come into play here in this game. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to play it straight on this character. I'm just going to do human. So you just type pick in the name of the race, and now you're in the game. So Core is a open exploration game, so you don't have to go through the quests if you don't want to. In the old version of the game of Core, your progress was gated at certain points. So at certain levels, you had to do a specific quest, otherwise you could not progress. It got to the point where I decided to just throw that all out the window, and quests are optional. You do get some bonuses. If you do the quest, it will actually raise your level cap. So, somebody's asking, what is the character's name? My character, his name is Limb. So Yeah, and I will, for the benefit of those who can see, we have a person who's sight impaired or blind who's listening. So I'm going to try to narrate as best I can. But for those of you who can see, I have my score up on the screen. You can type this whenever you want. So upper left-hand corner of the score shows your character name. You get a title, and your title changes every time you level up. So exactly, that's why I picked the name. Yeah, someone in chat is in the Twitch chat is saying, you'll find out. I will probably get my limb severed tonight. All right, and I'm going to turn on Wimpy, and Wimpy will make you try to flee the room if your health gets below the threshold indicated. And you can see on my screen, Wimpy mode is now to 23%. If my health gets below 23%, I try to run away. Okay, so when I entered this room, let me scroll up a little. It said, new quest received, documented immigrant. And let me see if I can scroll a little bit. And it says type quests for more information. Let's do that. So this is a system that I created a few years back. So the old quest system was very clunky. Every coder who made a quest did it different ways. So I decided to make a system that everything is saved in a database of sorts and makes it easy for players. Like, you know, because I started playing modern MMOs. Like, you know, first it was Star Wars Galaxies, and then World of Warcraft, and you know, other types of things. And you get kind of accustomed to having a quest journal. So this is the equivalent of a quest journal. No. Yeah, Nigel, back in the day, it was modern. Okay, back in the day. Yeah, Galaxies is shut down. Okay, so I'm going to type, I don't remember what he asked me to do, so I'm going to type quest 1. Because you can see on my screen, it says right now I have 1 quest. And if you just type quest 1, it tells me, okay, here's what you have to do. So it tells me I have to say hello. I can say whatever I want before and after that word, but quests that have word triggers or phrase triggers will catch it anywhere in what you say. Just, oh, hey, excellent. You've taken your first step towards learning Core's communication system. Now smile. Okay, so he's telling you that we have an emote system. And we did get that from the Lima mudlib, so we've got, oh gosh, probably a couple hundred emotes available. So if you're familiar with emotes in other mods that have the Lima emotes, you're going to fit right in where you've got everything that you're used to here. And there is a way you can list everything available. Okay, now it says say the name of the core channel that's used for questions and answers. And what you do is it says you have to type comlist if you don't know what that is. So it's trying to kind of guide you along. So, okay, there's, you know, here we have all these different channels. And we have one called QA, which our new players use quite a bit. And that's why we made it. We made it specifically for newbies so that they could try to get help. I'm being teased behind the scenes that I'm giving out quest info. This is the one quest that I will guide people through. As people move through the game, people on staff are not supposed to kind of hold your hand and guide you along. The quests are there for you to figure out. That being said, the quest itself tries to give you hints. And by the way, if I type quest 1, right now you can see somebody's already lapped me. Malachi's already beat me on this thing because I'm explaining and I'm recording, and maybe a little bit of drinking might be involved, maybe. So it says here, documented immigrant, say the name. And if you want to see more, type quest 1 or whatever the quest number happens to be, and it gives you more information. But it's the same thing. It says, say the name of the channel. I think you don't have to do all this, role-playing stuff, You can just say, QA. That's all you have to say. Boom. All right, you've advanced. Okay, now we have to move around. It says, okay, type north to move north. Let's do that. That's going to be really hard. Okay. Report to the customs office. Now, here's where you're brand new to the game. You're like, where's the customs office? Where the heck do I go? Well, it's right here in the room description. So it says, customs office is located through the west door. Okay. And again, if you're kind of lost, requests, and it says that. Quest 1 says, okay, yep. So I have to proceed west into the customs office, and I have to say out loud is what this is telling me to do. I have to say out loud, reporting in. Go in there. And here's Sub-Zero, and here's Lullums, who is our NPC for the quest. And I say, hello, Lullums. I'm checking in Overky. And he should have triggered. Let's try again all by itself. Well, now, he's not liking me. Do I have to reset the room? Ah, there you go. Another person has completed the quest. There you go. Oh, I said, dumbass. I said checking in, not reporting in. There we go. Okay. So now what this quest is trying to introduce you to the concept is things that we do in subsequent quests, and even just stuff that we add for flavor in the game. In rooms throughout the game, not every single room, and it might be only 10% of the rooms that where the person who made the room went to the trouble of doing this, but doing what I'm about to show you. So you type look or just L, and when you look, it repeats the room description. But now we take a look at what it says in the description. There's chairs. It says there's walls. There's posters. Okay, let's look at the posters. And there we go. So there's propaganda posters up here, and there's a word that keeps coming up over and over and over again, right? The word profit. And the quest objective is we want to know the company's motive. So I guess I should probably take a step back and explain the game, the world of the game. So this is a world that's been created from scratch. You can say a universe that's been created from scratch. It is, Milky Way galaxy. But we are on a planet that is on the extreme outlying area of the galaxy, very far from Earth. I just kind of duplicated myself, right? Okay, so now you fit in just fine. Head out north and then west to the quartermaster's office. Okay, so let's get out north. Okay, it says a sign over the western door reads quartermaster's office. Well, I think I'll go in there. So before I go in, so this is a futuristic game. We are on a planet that orbits a star system, Hermes 571G, and the inhabitants of the world just call this world Core, hence coremud. And the whole purpose of why a colony was established on Core, it is a company-owned colony, kind of harkens back to the Old West, United States Old West, before it was the United States, back when it was just territories, and a mining company would take over, or they would establish a mining town, and the company ran everything. So they had the store, they had the housing. If you wanted to work there, everything that you did, the company paid you, and then you paid the company back for housing, food, prostitute, whatever it was that you wanted, right? So the company kind of got it on both sides. They got your work, and then they got you to pay them for all the goodies that you wanted. So that's kind of what this world is. So this world is a mining colony on this planet. There are, and that's one of the ways that you make money as a player, is that you do mining, and I'm going to show you that tonight if I don't get too drunk. I've only had one drink, so I'm about to get on my second one, so bear with me. This is going to look kind of weird on the cam because I'm about to take a drink. So that probably looked really weird. So, all right, let's go inside the quartermaster's office. So we are, everything here is run by the company, and you are a company worker. So you have just arrived off the shuttle, and you are now getting kind of shown the ropes. Okay. Only one phrase adequately describes the state of this office. Utter chaos. All right, so what do I have to do? So class, I have to say reporting in again. All right. Okay. I'm not as formal as that Lawrence fellow. Sit yourself a spell while I explain how your inventory works. Okay. He just gave me 500 credits. And that's probably the only thing you're going to get for free out of the company. And by the way, within the next 30 minutes, I'm going to spend every single credit. All right, and in fact, here we go. They're wanting me to buy some armor. And he's explaining here, you can check your inventory, and I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to type I, and I say, okay, right now I have my comm unit. That's how we communicate. So this is basically our chat system. So you remember I did comm list earlier, and it showed the channels. All of that goes to your comm unit. All right, so he's telling me to buy some starter armor. So he says, head 2 east, 1 south, and buy a few things. Don't go crazy. Save your credits for some of the other shops too. And I had to suggest that to somebody earlier today. And I want to bring that up again. I want to show something. At the bottom of when you're seeing the quest detail, it says count remaining 2. What this is really saying, so that our quest system here is that if you have a quest task where the objective is to acquire an item, if you have to acquire more than one, it's going to tell you how many left you need. So it's saying I have to buy 2 pieces of armor. Now, in the shop, a lot of the shops will have, kind of flavor text at the top, but all of the shops will have this text at the bottom that says what some of their built-in commands are. So it will say, you type list to see what's available. There's a help system where you can see what commands are available. You can ask specifically about armor, help armor. So again, these are commands you type. We have our core has a online wiki that integrates into the in-game help system. Kind of proud of it. So it's pretty cool. And so here we're gonna, and it says, okay, type ring bell to call a shopkeeper. We don't have a shopkeeper in here right now. Let's summon one. Ring the bell on the counter. Ding, ding, ding. Clunky old droid emerges from the access panel and starts tending the shop. Every single shop in the game has this mechanic. If there is not a player tending shop is as you get higher in the game, there will be shops that are owned by players, and that player can hire other players, and a player can tend the shop. If there's nobody there, just ring the bell and the automatic shows up. All right, let's see what's here. So just about all the shops will have a list command, and you can see here we have some concepts that you're going to be familiar with. AC armor class. In this system, we're not using the D&D system, so it's not low is good, high is bad. Here's the opposite. Low is bad, high is good. You will see that there are a lot of these things that exceed the price of, or exceed the 500 credits that I was given. So I got to be very careful because there's some other things I need to buy in some of the other stores in order to proceed through the quest. So I'm going to try to keep things kind of scaled back for a little while. Notice here in the armor shop, it says if you see an asterisk in this column here next to the name, it means if this is too high for my level. So I'm going to try to be a little conservative from now. I'm going to buy the mining jacket. And you can see in the very first column, there's a menu number. That is, you can think of it as like the item number. So just do order and then the item number. So I'm going to buy the jacket, which is item number 9. And he gives it to me. The quest system detects that I picked up a piece of armor, says you need to get one more. I'm going to get the boots. So I'm going to go order number 6, which are the boots. Boom. All right, now it tells me pack some heat. What does that mean? So again, quest 1, you need a weapon. Head east of the armor shop, go to the gun shop. Order, now I'll have to check to see if gun number 2 is still the one that we want, so I may have to update the quest information. We'll see if this is still accurate. Okay, it says you can type wear all one word, wear all, and now all my stuff is worn. Remember before I showed you my inventory? Let's do that again. So now you can see there's a section of my inventory that's just for my armors, and it shows that the 2 things that I bought, I'm now wearing them. And there's the very first column called auto load, means that when I log out and I log back in, anything that's auto load is still in my inventory. So it's essentially an item that will stay with you. So when I was in college, we played a very early generation of this type of game called LP Mud, and when you logged in, you had nothing. You had nothing in your inventory. You did have your money saved with your character, but you had nothing. So you had to run around and you had to like scrounge for a stick. You wield the stick, and then you kill a low character, and you get or a low monster, you get a knife, you wield a knife, and you work your way up to a sword, and about an hour in, you finally get the diamond sword. You're like, woohoo! And then, oh shit, I gotta go to class. All right, let's go to the gun shop. It says, okay, gun shop is to the south. Okay, same thing, ring bell. Do a list. Now, the gun shops are a little more, they're probably one of the more complicated retail type shops there are in this game, because there are different types of things that you can buy. And so to make it a little less clunky, because if you were to see everything all on one screen, it would actually probably, for some shops, it may be 2 or 3 screens of text. So we split it out. So gun upgrades, guns, and knives are in different categories. So we're going to do list guns. And what do we got here? I think this is probably not what I want. So let's see, how much money do I actually have? Because he gave me 500, but I started with some money initially. Okay, here we go. I have 4,300 credits. I'm so wealthy. All right, let me list guns again. I got 4,300 credits to work with. I still got to keep a little bit in reserve. Colony sidearm upgraded. It's 800 credits. I ought to be able to afford it. Now, the problem here is that it says level number, and is it guns or guns? Or Steve's asking me something here, or telling me something. There's order gun number. Okay. So yeah, we'll have to change the quest. So yeah, it'll be order gun 1. Oh, duh. Okay. Yeah, because the item numbers are unique across all types. So it is order gun 2 is correct. Column, even though colony sidearm is the first gun listed, it's actually item number 2 because item number 1 is taken by another item. So yeah, we'll go order gun 2. Okay, so the quest text is correct. So a little less work for me to do. Now it's to stock up on ammo. Okay, what's ammo? So there was a revamp a few years back where we basically started phasing out all of the kind of medieval weapons like swords, clubs, staves. We did have some projectile guns, but we basically started swapping out to energy-based weapons. And so that's the ammo that we use today. So let's first take a look at what it says. Okay, so what it says is that, so an energy gun, you can think of it just like a traditional firearm that we have today. You can't fire it unless you have some ammunition for it. And what we use here for these energy weapons is liquid energy called liaison. And it is something kind of unique to this planet. This planet produces and the high-end miners will mine a substance called coremud. It's a metal, very concentrated energy, and that's what makes core in this universe, in this game universe, in such high demand across the civilized or the populated galaxy. Is you can think of this as kind of like the Dune universe, where Dune is the only, Arrakis is the only place where you can get spice. There's another fiction series that has something similar in nature, where there's only one planet that has this particular substance that is very precious. Same thing here. So coremud is precious, and the scientists figured out how to turn it into the substance called liaison. Type order liaison as it tells us to do here at the bottom of the quest task. Let's do that. Okay, it says okay. This is another one where there's a count. So I have to buy 4 cartridges. Okay. Now it wants me to go to the bar. Before I do that, first let me look at my gun. And I think it tells me, okay, at the very bottom of this very busy screen, it says, okay, the gun came with 3,000 units of liaison. As I get into combat and I start firing my gun, I'm going to run out, and what we do is we have to type refill gun to, in fact, it says so right here. So you can do that anytime you want. So even during combat, you can start refilling. You're basically recharging your ammunition. You don't have to step out of the room and recharge and then run back in. You can do that while combat is in play. Okay, scroll up a little. So it says, okay, go to the bar. Again, if you don't know what to do, look at the quest 1. And it says, okay, it says, oh, by the way, so I said that Core's combat system is limb-based. So there is a way where you could say, I want to, let's take a look at what I have. So this one is not in the tutorial, but I'm going to show you. So based on what race you have, the command body will tell you what limbs you have and what damage percent that you have. So right now, it says this happy little guy here. I'm kind of not very proud of this ASCII art. We got this happy little guy. And by the way, down here at the bottom of the portal screen, one of these guys right here, you hover your mouse, if you have portal, hover your mouse over the green jewel, says, hey, here's your limb status in aggregate. So this is telling me that across all of my limbs, I'm at full limb health, 100%, 100 points out of 100 points, or whatever you want to call it. It's percentages for this guy. These other ones are raw numbers. So the plus, that's your hit points, that's raw numbers. This guy here in blue, that's your stamina, that's raw numbers. You can get that also by typing info. And that is an abbreviated score, so that when you're combat, you want to check your stats real quick, you can do that. What I just typed, and the combat will tell you as you go through. It will give you status updates as you go along. Every round, it'll tell you how you're doing. So, okay, go to the bar. Okay, so let's go continue down this hallway. And it says, okay, the pub is to the south. Okay, what do? We ring bell. Got the old droid again, right? Automatic. He kind of makes it around, doesn't he? He's available for every single shop in the game. So they must have mass-produced the guy. List. And here's our list of drinks. Now, there's some stuff, by the way, as we're getting ready for New Year's Eve. We did put in these starport shops that we're kind of going through right now. They're intended for players level 6 and lower, because we had a lot of people kind of take a vacation from the game because the combat and mining timers were broken. Now they're fixed. We're trying to get the word out. So until the player run economy picks up full stream, we have a 2-month exception built into these starport shops where anybody, regardless of level, may purchase anything that they see listed. So high level person can come in here and buy a few drinks. So some of these strengths will probably be a little too strong for me. So for example, strength, that's this column right here. We've got a drink that is actually not even for us. I tried to order that guy. It's strength 100. Nah, it's not for you, buddy. Okay, fine. All right. If you're a mud client, or even if you're using putty will show colors. So you're going to see, if you can see color and your client supports it, you're going to see green and this kind of icky looking, I don't even know what to call this color, kind of icky yellow / somebody is wanting to throw up. That's caffeine. And that's a type. So we have 2 types of things you can buy, caffeine and alcohol. You want the alcohol. And we're going to do, right now, since I'm pretty low, I don't know, I might go ahead and buy, we got plenty of credits, so I'm going to do the pale ale. So I'm going to order number 4. And one of the enhancements that I want to do is to allow us to buy in bulk. But we have to kind of do it one at a time. It says, okay, we have a new task. Drinks to white coats. What's that all about? Okay. Last update. We're just about done with this quest. And then we're about to do the next one. And this one will be kind of fun. By the way, it says you consume the drink. So this is one of the main ways of healing. So you do heal naturally over time, but when you're in the middle of combat, that natural healing over time is not going to save you, and if you are facing something tough, you will die. Therefore, you bring alcohol with you, as much as you can afford and as much as you can carry. And there's a penalty if you are overladen. So if you are reaching your weight carry limit, that will negatively impact your combat performance. You have to be kind of careful about that. But it says, okay, I can either type drink pale ale, as it says here, drink name, or you can just type drink right here. And what it'll do is it'll just, the system will find the first drink in your inventory and it'll drink it. There is a built-in alias for these things called drink. And you can see the strength. And we have somebody in Twitch who's in the chat who's saying, oh, by the way, there is another way we can do it. You can type drink alcohol or drink caffeine. One final thing before I wrap up the pub discussion. So I talked about the types, alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol is the bigger healer. Caffeine is kind of a throwback to the old myth that if you drink a lot of coffee, you'll sober up. Which is not true in real life, but it is kind of true in core. So the one thing to be aware of is that core does keep track of how full you are, and there will be a point where you can't drink anymore, and you have to wait over time for that. For essentially, there's two different things it keeps track of: your food intake. And we haven't really fleshed out the food system. We used to have one. I'm rebuilding it. The drink system is separate, and essentially you just drink. You either type drink alcohol or drink caffeine. And the caffeine does help, but in my point of view, I think the alcohol has a bigger punch for the healing benefits. Yeah, and also in the Twitch chat, there's also, as long as you're drunk, you do get a little bit more healing, more health points per tick. We have one tick per about a second or a second and a half. So there's a default heal that you get, but if you're drunk, that you get a boost. There's a downside though, as there always is when you're an alcoholic. When you're drunk, if you're too drunk, it will negatively impact your combat performance. So it's a double-edged sword, so be careful. Okay. By the way, once you drink, your drink will be converted from whatever it says to an empty bottle. And down here at the bottom of the screen, it says when you recycle, and that is a command in the pub. So any pub in the game, they don't care about, unlike in the state that I live, where the store will only accept bottles that they sell. In coremud, any pub will take any empty bottle. They don't care, and you get a little. The owner of the shop will set how many credits you get. In this case, 2 credits per empty bottle at this particular pub. All right. Go to the clinic. Okay. Talking about the company's generous benefits. Okay. What's going on here? Let's read the text. Talk to Dr. Ivu. I don't know. I never figured. I created this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. All right, I kind of call him Ivu, I guess. All right, ask him about the health plan. Again, you don't have to be RP. You can just type it. You have to say it out loud though. Okay, yay me! I completed the quest and I got a little experience bonus for doing so. All right, so let's take a look here at what it's talking about. There is no permadeath in this game. So you can get killed over and over and over again. In the earliest iteration of the game, you would lose a level and you would lose stats and skills. I'd have to go back and look at if there's any kind of a penalty other than you essentially you get taken, you get killed, you're going to be taken back to a clinic immediately. You're going to have to suffer through a cutscene, which you might even see tonight if I really suck at combat. Now, right now I don't have any quests to do. So right now, it's free exploration. However, before I do free exploration, because as I go along here, it's going to force me to get another quest because there's only one way out of the starport complex. And on the way out, you're going to run into a guy. He's going to immediately give you a quest. So that will guide you to what one of the main ways that you get your income in this game. So you don't necessarily have to worry about oh, what do I do? You just, I mean, I'm gonna hit this guy within 30 seconds. Before I do that though, so I'm gonna take longer than 30 seconds because I tend to bloviate. Notice some of the characters in the game, some of the NPCs, they say stuff. They say stuff at random. And all I have to do, and he's already said it. I don't know if you've clued in on this, but he's talking about bringing corpses from Shea Park is the first combat area that you can do if you want to. You don't have to do combat in this game, by the way, unless you want to do the quests. It is possible to level up in this game and never kill a single thing. And how you do that is through mining. Mining will give you money. Mining will give you experience points. Combat is a faster way. Combat is not as profitable. So the balanced approach is to do both. But we have had characters in the past, and all they did was mined, and they became filthy rich and high level. Now, notice what he's talking about here. He says, first of all, so first he's explaining a mechanic of the game. Kill something, take the corpse, bring it back to any clinic, and you process them. That is a command in the clinic room. So process is a command. He will take the corpse from you. The corpse will be turned, sorry to say, into food that the clinics can buy, or sorry, the pubs buy, and then the pubs turn that into alcohol. Yes, it's a brutal world, but we're out here on the edge of nowhere. Got to get alcohol from somewhere. So, yes. Is this a reference to Soylent Green? Might be. Might be a reference to Soylent Green. Yes, it is. It's exactly what that is. In fact, the first clinic that was ever made in this game was literally called Soylent Green. It was back in, we prototyped it in 1995 and we went live 1996. So, yes, that's exactly what this is. Now he's talking about matters. Oh, preferably bring in rat corpses. He talks and then blasted rats. My research wasted. Blasted rat. He's got a thing about rats. What's going on here? Well, it turns out that there's an optional secret quest that a lot of people skip over. They don't even realize it's there. I've got a job for you. Another keyword, guys. So not every NPC is built this way, but he's got a little chain of things. He's trying to guide you. He's trying to coach you into learning how some of the advanced quests in this game work. He's trying to coach you that you need to read or listen carefully to what the characters are saying, and sometimes either in what they say or items in the room, whether it be in the room description, or remember when I was in the office about when I had to look at the poster because the poster was mentioned in the room description, and I looked at the poster and it gave me a keyword. He's talking about a keyword right here. I want a job. Boom! New quest. Bounty hunting. All right, now we have something new. So now we have Rat Slayer. Rat Slayer, because I completed documented immigrant. Quest number 1 is 1 away. Now I have a new quest number 1. You can have many quests. There's no limit to how many quests you can have. So unlike some other multiplayer games where they limit you to so many quests, here you can accumulate as many as you want and just do them whatever you want to, or you can just skip over them. It's, again, free form playing, open exploration. So what is this guy telling us to do? Quest number 1 says, slay 4 rats and bring them back and use the process command in the clinic to get credits. And they want you to do this. He wants you to bring in 4 corpses. You don't have to bring them all in at the same time. And go get 2, heal up, go back and get another 2. Now, he's talking about, see, he's got a grudge against rats, and who doesn't? I mean, come on. Who doesn't have a grudge against those varmints? He talks about, be careful, be careful. Hard to find section. Means this is not an obvious exit. It's hard to find. Shea Park, although, is a small area. I mean, it's like 9 rooms plus a couple of hidden ones. All you have to do is that if you have sight, you want to use graph paper and map out the area. If you don't have sight, you have to look, you basically look at the room and look very carefully at the things that are mentioned in the room, and some of them you can look at, and they'll give you clues about how there might be a hidden exit that is not listed in the obvious ones. Now, before let's just get out of here because he keeps talking. Okay, let's view that quest again. He says, tip, corpses decay over time. So you get the corpse in your inventory. It's not going to stay there forever. By the way, if you log out, you log back in, that corpse is gone. It's not in your inventory anymore. So it is not an auto-loading item. So get a couple corpses, go back to the clinic, and turn them in before they, basically, they're going to disappear. So they will get out of your inventory, and again, it says you right here. It's another reminder. He mentions that the rats are in a section that is not obvious. And it says right here what I was just talking about. Why? Because I wrote this quest. So it says, I'm trying to hold your hand. I don't hold your hand in the higher level quest, but in this one I'm holding your hand, and I'm trying to do it as best I can. It says, you need to read the room's description carefully. Look at the items mentioned within the text. Oh my God, I just said this. I just said this, and I wrote this thing years ago. Okay. Says, yeah. Oh, by the way, another method is to make a map of the area. So either keep it in your head, make a map on paper, or if you cannot do that, then you're going to have to look carefully at the descriptions and look at things that it mentions. Okay, so it talks about going to Shea Park. Where is that? So I've pretty much explored this corridor, so I'm just gonna, I've already been to all the other exits except one, which is the northwest. And keep going down this hallway. Boom. Okay. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is the only way out of the starport complex. This is a choke point. You have to pass this guy. And when you encounter him the very first time, he gives you a new quest. He gives you the ore miner quest. And this is very important for you to do. This is going to give you everything you need to make money in this game faster than combat and turning corpses back in, because that's slow and tedious. This is the fast way. When you first start, it's going to seem slow because you have no skill. But as you go along, you're going to get better and better and richer and richer. And one day you're going to have a mind of your own. And I'm not kidding you. This is a high level perk. But when you get up into your level 20 or so, Get a couple million credits on your belt, you can buy your own mine. So take this quest a little seriously. So for right now, though, we're going to do this quick little combat quest so I can demonstrate combat. So let me check my inventory one more time. Got my armor worn. I need to do my wield all as mentioned earlier in the quest sequence. It's okay. My colony sidearm is wielded in my right hand. I've got armor, I've got drinks, I've got ammo, I'm ready to go. Let's take a look at the description again here. Okay. It says, okay, I'm not going to worry about the east doorway goes into the library. We're not going to worry about that, but here we go. Fresh oxygen flows through the western door leading to Shea Park. That's where we need to go. I'm going to hit west. And it says, okay, trying to hold your hand. This is suitable for newbies to explore and gain experience. And you can go in here over and over. So you don't get one shot at this. You can do it again and again. And you can use this level. You can use this thing to get from level 1 to level 3 if you want to. However, this is an instanced area, meaning, and it tells you this right here, no other players will be able to interfere or steal your kills. So there, you're going to get your own unique copy. So just like modern MMOs where you join a guild, you say, hey guys, let's go raid, let's go hit the raid boss. You form an instance, you get there, now it's your own little thing. Same thing here. So I took that concept, I brought it over into a MUD. I don't know if anybody else has done that. I'm pretty proud of it. It says, okay, type list for further instructions on how to get in there. This is okay. There are 20 instances available. So there are 2 types of instances that the game supports. There are solo only, which means only one person can be there at the time. That's kind of what solo means. And another type is open. So as many people can go into that instance as care to. So you can bring in your friends, get help. But in this one, this is intended to be done by yourself. So it just says type, and unfortunately this thing line wrapped on us. You type join and the instance number. I'll just pick the first one. I'm going to join number 1. And I'm inside. Okay. Shea Park is essentially, the part that's obvious is a 3x3 grid of essentially 9 rooms. And the way that this game works is very similar with respect to the placement of monsters. So a lot of other MUDs will have the description, will list the obvious exits, and then if any monsters or players are in the room, they're listed below. So here's a mosquito. Before I attack this thing, so Core has a command called consider, and there is an abbreviation for it, so there's a built-in alias called cons. You consider a monster or NPC that is in the room with you. All right, I'll just type it out. It might be con. I'm lazy. All right, I'll type it out. Fine. You can make your own aliases. Okay. And it gives you some information. It's trying to gauge without actually giving you specific numbers. So the game will never tell you, oh, he's got 15 hit points. He's got 15 strength and 10 dexterity. The game will never tell you that about an enemy. Consider, though, we'll try to put it in words. So he says, okay, he's top shape. That means he's in full health. He is half my strength. He's less accurate than me. And he's talking about, oh, slightly less tough. But he's got more skills. So this, who knows what's going to happen here. So I'm going to, what we do in this game, very similar to a lot of other mods. You just type the word kill and the name of the monster or NPC. And away we go. Okay. So the first time that you go into combat, it's going to be very spammy, and there's a lot of text that flies by. Now, in Portal, we take a look at our status bars, and I don't know if you've noticed, but at the bottom right-hand corner, as soon as I attacked that mosquito, we started to see his health and it does actually, Portal does try to give us a percentage. So Portal lets us cheat a little bit. I don't know if other game clients are able to integrate with our API that we leverage from the Portal game client, but this one is actually, the enemy status bar is actually exact. So kind of cheating, but the text that you see as you go through here does give you some information about, tells your HP and your stamina. So you don't have to necessarily be staring at your status bars, although that's what I do. If you don't have Portal game client, you're just using something more vanilla, doesn't have status bars, you're going to be relying on this information that's flying by. So I am now, you can see here, I'm actually not too bad. I'm at 182 out of 190. So I've been kind of healing as I've been talking to you guys. And I've gained some experience. You can see here, the game does keep track. So if there are multiple players hitting on the same monster at the same time, it will keep track as to who did what percentage of the damage. So if I'm in here killing this mosquito and Nigel, if this happened to be an open instance, Nigel walks in, he attacks it. He's much, much higher in level than I. He's going to wail on the thing, but as long as I get a couple hits in, which I probably won't, but it will say your portion of the experience is like 5%. And of the total experience, you get 5% of the total. So essentially, that's what this message here is saying. So this is one thing that does kind of set us apart from other games, or other MUDs, I should say, because we do have this mechanic in here where kill stealer. So it does try to keep track of who's doing what to the monster, and the monster will, when he dies, he awards the experience proportionately. Okay. So what's in the room? Corpse. Let's look at the corpse. Is there any loot? No loot. Let's move on. Okay. And we have here, now if I do, I'm at the entrance, and you can see here, it tells us this, starport exit is to the east. There's a fountain that can be heard from the west, and I'm in this 3x3 grid here. You can think of this as I'm at the eastern part of that 3x3 grid, and I'm in the middle of that third column. I could probably express it better as a bingo card. All right, let's take a look at that. Lions and creepers climb. Let's go. So it talks about there's a fountain to the west. Okay, there's a huge fountain, so we can look at it. Now this is, when I make quests and when I make quest areas, I throw in false positives. So I do try to lead you astray, and I do try to trick you. When you go into my magnum opus called Payroll Mystery, and I'm not going to give you a single clue about it in this live stream, I do lead you astray, and you're going to have to pay attention. And I have been called on dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I've been called an evil bastard, and by the way, I deserve it. And I revel in it, and I cherish I cherish your tears. They nourish me. So there are things that, depending on who wrote the quest, you just have to be careful, and you have to kind of look around. Now, pigeon is not part of the quest objective. I can kill the pigeon because I am interested in getting points. I want to get skill points so that I get better at combat. So here you can see, bottom right hand corner of my screen, You see that bar going down? That's the pigeon's percentage of health. You can see my I'm doing okay. My hit points and my body, I'm doing okay. My stamina, limb status, I got a little bit of limb damage. So if you can see color, you can see that a couple of my parts of my body have taken a bit of damage. It will heal naturally over time, or I can take a drink, and as long as I'm not terribly injured, it's gonna immediately go back to 100%. So already several of my limbs are now fully healed. Got a little bit left damage to my torso. One thing about limb damage before I continue, you can have limbs severed, which is what Nigel was teasing me about it towards the beginning of the live stream. After I got my audio fixed, I can get my hands, arms, legs, feet cut off, and you can get them reattached at the clinic. If you get your head can be severed, and that is a fatal blow. And if you can get your torso severed, and that is a fatal blow. So you do have to be careful. So whether you're using Portal or something else, I don't know if the info command, no, it doesn't do that. So you have to use if you don't have anything special, you have to use that body command. And if you're taking a lot of HP damage, it means you're taking a lot of limb damage. You need to check to see what's going on. All right, let's go take a look. Let's go find some rats to kill. So I'm just gonna, because this thing has been going for a little while. So here you can see we got the corpse, and you can sever limbs from monsters. It just happens automatically. So it's random. You can take this back to the clinic, and they'll process it, and they'll give you a reward. Let's look at the corpse. There's no loot. Let's move on. Southwest. Okay, rattlesnake. He's now. Notice his color. He's got a slightly different color. Let's consider him. Okay. He is a little stronger because now it says he's about as tough as I am. So he's now going to be a hard fight for me as a level 1 character. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and type body. And you can see I'm taking damage on my limbs. That's not bad. Looks like I'm doing pretty good here. I am using a gun. And he's not, by the way, I don't know if you saw this fly by just now, but I just got a skill point. So that's one of the reasons why I've been going in and kind of killing these trash mobs, because as you use a skill, it will advance automatically. So skills will advance. Your stats and level will not. You do have to go to the leveling area, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to that tonight. Just by exploring the city, you'll be able to find it. Okay. Let's look at the corpse. Okay, there's ore inside the corpse. Okay. Right now I can't do anything with it until I proceed further in my mining quest. And then I'll be able to make money off of that. So for right now, I'll just kind of keep it. That ore is not auto-loading. So if I log out before at least starting that mining quest, I will lose it, and I'm going to lose that sweet, sweet credit reward. So be mindful of that. All right. Let's take a look at what is going on here. So we have grasses, vegetation, cacti, brushes, dense towards the east. Okay. I am the VP of evil. You can see west and now. Careful. Last paragraph here. Be careful. Don't just walk by. Look at the description. The west and south walls of this room that we're in right now come together in a corner, and It says, although they are painted to resemble a desert landscape and horizon, to minimize the effect, ... There's something going on here. Look at the corner. So I am violating one of my rules. I'm giving you a tip. Let's look at walls. No. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I looked at the walls. It says, okay, west wall's fine. South wall has some oddly painted cacti that block a portion. What's going on here? I don't see a south exit, but can I go south? Been a while since I've done this. I know the south wall also is affected, although in an odd formation. Okay, so let's just try a couple different exits that I can't see. Oh dear, I believe I found a secret exit. Okay, so there are obvious exits and there are non-obvious exits that you can only find by looking very carefully at descriptions and trying to figure things out. If I had mapped this thing, if I had spent my time mapping out all 9 rooms, and by the way, core, one thing that makes core special, the what I'll call the Z plane, or for my foreign friends, Z. The Z plane is mappable on graph paper. It is one of the rules that I have enforced across all the area developers. So it doesn't matter who the developer is, their area may not overlap with another developer's area. In terms of, I should be able to map the entire game on graph paper, and on the ground level in the city complex, I should be able to map the entire thing. We were to the southeast of this Shea Park is this starport that we just went through. And if you had mapped the entire shared park and you had mapped the starport, you would have noticed a gap of a couple of rooms, and that's where I am right now. So by mapping the entire thing, and you'd be scratching your head saying, wait a minute, there's a couple of rooms here that are empty that I haven't visited. How do I get to them? And the quest says there's a hidden or hard to find area. Well, that's where I am now. So again, that's why it's important to map this thing if you have the ability to do so. Portal does have the ability to print out graph paper. You just open up the cartographer screen. There's one of the screens in here that is cartographer, and it has the ability where you can just, you have a printer, just tell it, you don't have any graph paper. I bought graph paper all the time. I was in college, didn't do it for, God, I hated math, but also did it for mudding. Okay, rap time. Okay. I got to get 4 of these. Let's see how I'm done. How am I doing? Okay. So this part here isn't too thrilling, but again, you just have to kind of pay attention. Okay. I have now here. It's the quest says I have to take the corpses and bring them back, but actually, the real trigger for the quest is just to kill them. So our quest system, one of the things that it does keep track of is kills. So if there's a quest objective that says kill X number of this, it keeps track of it. This saves with your character. I can log off, log back in, and I still have my 3 out of 4. So I'm in good shape here. So this is actually how I complete this quest. Now I am a little low on health, so I'm going to drink a drink. Portal detected that. I'm healed. Now if I check my score, it says I'm tipsy. Tipsy is not going to really affect my combat performance that much, so I'm just going to keep going. So here we go. So we keep, got to kill a couple more of these. Again, not incredibly thrilling. What is this purple? Now, I don't know if you can see because I turned off the capture of my mouse, but at the bottom of my screen, we've got the red plus, we got the blue jewel, we got the green jewel, we got the purple jewel. The purple jewel is percent to next level. By killing these things, I'm getting experience as we're going along, and I'm actually pretty close to getting enough experience to being able to level up. It says my experience, I now have 954 points, and I need a total of 1,000 points to get to the next level. So just by killing these rats and not even finishing the quest, I'm going to be able to get enough points to level up. I think I will show you that tonight, because I got nowhere else to go. Freaking lockdown. Let's look at these corpses. Now, when there's multiple things in the room, you can kind of enumerate them. So you can go corpse 1, empty, no loot. Corpse 2. Ooh, plutonium ore, I want that. Okay. Next rat. Before I do that, type help command list. And it gives you, this is kind of a list that we put together. This is not exhaustive, but this has a lot of the commands that we want new characters to know about. Talks about how to move around, talks about how to communicate. That's what you see on my screen right now. Combat. Here's the where all and the wield all. And I want you to know about, we already talked about consider. I want to talk about suppress. Help, I'm being suppressed. Is it repressed? Suppress will turn off when you're new. If you have low skill, you're going to miss. You could miss a lot in combat. You can suppress those messages. So it's a toggle. You can turn it on. You can turn it off. You type it once, turn it off. Okay. So by suppressing the you miss, it'll cut down a little bit on the combat spam, and that is helpful. Let's also take a look at my gun. I've got plenty of ammo in here. However, I'm going to go ahead and top it off. Okay. I have depleted the cartridge. I now have another cartridge. Good to go. We're now full. Take a look at my inventory. So we can see here, I don't know if you noticed on my screen, it kind of went die fast, but of course, when I get this thing uploaded to YouTube, you can always pause and go back. So one of my cartridges has now been converted to a depleted cartridge, and I can turn that in at the gun shop for a reward. It is not auto-loading, so I got to remember to do that before I log off for the day. Okay, a couple more rats. Monsters respawn. So you notice that when I came in here, I think there was, what, 4 rats? Well, maybe 5. Maybe I'm not paying attention, but typically, if you wipe out a room completely, eventually that room will restock. So if I wipe out all 5 rats, if I just stand here and do nothing, eventually those rats will come back. That's a boring way to level up, but it is doable. Let's see. Take a look at my body. 17%. I don't like that. I'm going to drink a drink. By the way, how many do I have left? I've got 2 left. I got to be careful because I'm going to show you a boss. Let's see. Is this my last one? This is my last rat that I have to do. If I want to, I could go on and keep killing more rats. However many I see, I can exit the instance, create a new instance, go in, and everything will be freshly spawned. And that's one of the nice things about, boss time, slay the queen. This is a boss. Now you know my terrible secret. I used to work in that lab. It was my responsibility to grow the plants and the animals for the atrium. Unfortunately, I neglected the DNA lab, which I'm standing in right now, spent the bulk of my time in the vegetation lab, and that was my ruin. Okay. Talks about his experiment that went horribly wrong, and he wants me to find and kill the rat clay. Well, it's not going to be terribly hard because, again, if you have your map, you'll see you got one room left to discover, and that's the room to the east of us, by the way. Oops, 3. Just make sure that I don't have anything. Okay. I'm not at full health, but it's enough. And I'm now back to my condition is sober in game. And we got a queen. So, let's consider the queen. Okay. Core has a system that we instituted a few years back called Elite. It's very similar to modern MMOs where you can go through a quest area or raid area and then you come up to an elite, and an elite is going to be tougher than you. The way core works is that when you encounter something that says elite, now this boss was intended to be faced by a level 1 character, but if I come in as a level 20 and I say, oh, this is a level 2 or level 3 rat, I should have no problem. I'm level 20, I should wipe the floor with her instantly. The second I attack the thing, her level, HP, skills, stats, everything inflates, and it's going to inflate to match you. And there's pluses and minuses, and we can go to elite -5 to elite. If I was a real dick, I'd go elite +3. You will die. Anyway, let's kill the queen and see what I'm talking about. So right now, okay, I'm going to kill that queen. You slay queen. Okay, she has just inflated. Now, it doesn't tell me that, but I got to be very careful because I'm facing off against an elite. So I got 2 drinks left, and I got to conserve them. So I don't necessarily want to just jump the gun and drink my drink right away. I'm actually doing pretty good. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get those corpses. All right, you see decaying remains. I don't have much time left to go. I got to get back to him before those things expire. Okay, let's go back to the clinic. It's a process. Okay, so I got 50 credits for processing those corpses and limbs and stuff that I picked up along the way. So I get a little bit extra. Okay, so in my inventory, I've got a depleted cartridge. I just got a couple of empty bottles. I got ore, and I've got a limb. Okay, I may have to do this multiple times. Okay, so I have to do this once for each thing. And all I had to do was say, rat or whatever, and it says, hey, oh, happy day. All right, finish the quest. I get a little bonus experience for doing that. And now I can't do that quest again. So if I say, hey, I want a job, it's no, I don't want to talk to you anymore, asshole. So, all right, let's go ahead, and we're about to do the mining. And let's go ahead first. We're going to recycle. And it says, okay, I found 2 bottles in your inventory. You get 4 credits. Oh, I'm so rich. Let's go to the gun shop. And I don't remember the command to do this. Recycle. Okay. There's 5 credits for the cartridge. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy another cartridge because I already have to remember I've got three cartridges left, but one of them is about half full. So I'm going to order these on. Refill my gun. Refill gun. And hasn't completely depleted the thing. And before I get out of here, let's go ahead and buy a couple more. Oh, there you go. Order these on max. Yes, I made the shop and I forgot about my commands. Let's get a couple more drinks because I'm down to what am I? Down to 2. So let's get a couple more of these pale ales. Let's get a couple of them. A couple of 2. I'll get more. Let's just nice round number. I've got 10 drinks on me. Okay. I mentioned before about you got to be careful about how much you're carrying. I noticed that the drinks, as I was getting ready for New Year's Eve and I was getting ready for lots of people going through these quests, I discovered that my my inventory was getting overburdened with drinks. They were weighing too much, so I reduced the weight significantly today, so it should be a little gentler on the player base now. All right, let's go and get out of Dodge. Let's go visit the mines. Okay, we are now out of, and there's a newbie terminal here that's got some posts, so we are working on getting our forum back online. But until then, there are some helpful things on the terminals, and you'll find terminals throughout the game. So we have some people have, years ago put posts up on here so you can read them just by typing in the number, or you can even make a post of your own. This is a public bulletin board. And let's just go ahead and go north. Okay. So since I know my way around, I'm just going to go ahead and head out. The city dome that I'm in here, don't go down to the sewers yet. I'm just level 1, okay? However, before I do that real quick, so I am in what's called the city dome. It is part of the city complex. So there are other domes that are attached to the city dome. They're connected through mass transit tube. And I'm about to go to the central mass transit station. Say that 3 times fast. And when you're inside the city complex, type the word compass and you get this little ASCII map, and the blinking red asterisk is you. And this basically shows your position within the game, within the dome. And you are here. All right. Northwest, I'm now in the center. I don't know if I could show this on. Let me just pull up the Twitch stream real quick. Let me see. I don't think this pop-up window is showing, is it? No. Let me add that to the stream. Okay, how do we do that? Bear with me, guys and gals, or whoever's watching. Let's do add a source. Let's do window capture. And we're going to say create new, and we'll go portal imagery. Visible. And what are we looking for? Let me see. I don't know what this is. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get this map. Imagery quick connect is what I'm looking for. It is not the right window. Bear with me, folks. I'm looking for, it's not making it available. I'm going to, just continue on. So you can't see what I did, so let me hide this. Oh, Let me hide this window. Okay. When you are using Portal, from time to time as you wander around the game, graphical maps will pop up, and one just popped up on my screen. So I'm now this game, or sorry, this room. Let me get back on task here. So this room, let me make sure did I just mess up my okay, let me hide and redraw this thing. Doesn't look right. I'm looking at the preview and it doesn't look like it's taking up the full screen anymore. This is something that is a little frustrating. Trying to use the streaming stuff. Are you guys able to see my screen okay? With respect to, are you able to read the text in Portal? Okay. Okay, all right. I'm getting feedback that this actually looks better than before, so I'm going to leave it this way. Cool, thank you for the feedback. All right. So if I were to look at my master quest list, now I have just the one. And, oh, did I have to go back and talk to that guy? Oh, all right, sorry, I jumped the gun. I need to go back to the entrance to Shea Park and talk to this guy, sorry. And, okay. So it's looking like my interface is locked up. I'll just break it. I might have broken something. Let's check my task manager real quick. Something is messed up. Well, you know, that's why we do these dry runs. So I don't know what's going on here. Portal's getting CPU cycles, but I don't know why it's just sitting there. I may have to kill it and relaunch. It's always fun. I don't want to lose my ore, though. It's not responding to anything. All right, well, I don't want to sit here all night and wait for this thing to wake up, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill this and get back in. Bear with me. Okay, portal's done. Let me relaunch the thing. I don't know what happened there. Let me do quick connect. Oh, it took away my profile. Darn it. Give me a sec. Let's get my password out of my password safe for this character. What's it doing? No socket available. Oh, come on. It's saying I can't get back in. Okay. Yeah, something's jacked up with portals here, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, let me try one more time. This is definitely jacked up. Log in, accept. What are you talking about? Portal is not able to hit the game. Let me make sure I can ping it. Yeah, I can ping it just fine. So it's not a network problem. It's basically Portal's. It's got something hung in the background, so I may have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Okay. I will have to do this the hard way. So I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to come in through putty. Oh, yeah, I got all kinds of problems here. All right, let's quit out. All right, I'm almost back. Give me a sec. I will be just speaking. I'm just going to come in through good old putty. All right, and turn off these portal codes. It thinks that I've got portal turned on now, and so I'm getting all the codes. Shit. Well, this is a monkey wrench. What's going on here? Well, I think. Let me take a look. I bet I have a hung process in the background here. So let me start just killing stuff that I know I don't need. I saw some run or DLL host garbage out there, and I bet one of them is probably a background portal process. It may have been spawned when that imagery window came up. And no, I don't have the Google Crash Handler. All right, let's see if the things I just killed. Let's just check real quick if there's anything else. Still got my ob stuff running. Okay, great. So that. Oh, this is really exciting, isn't it? Kind of listening to me trying to figure out what the heck I did wrong. Okay, let's try this. So we're still broadcasting. Okay. Let's try to fire up portal, see if I can get back in. Log in. Yes. Yeah, there's something going on. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end the stream, folks, and apologize that I wasn't able to take you through the advancement process and the mining process. We'll do that in live stream number 2, I guess. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comments in the Twitch chat, and appreciate the comments in the in-game chat and the kind of gentle teasing going back and forth. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll talk soon. And if you haven't played Core yet, this is your invitation to join us. If you have no MUD client at all, just type just get a telnet client like Putty, available for free. Core you can play for free forever. We will never charge for it. We're not allowed to. And the address is coremud.org, port number 4000, and it's using the telnet protocol over port number, or it's using the telnet protocol. So if you have choice between telnet or SSH, pick telnet. When you create a character, don't use a password that is something that you use for something else. Keep in mind that first of all, it's never a good idea to use passwords across multiple accounts. So that is a bad practice. You don't want to get into that habit. I use a free password vault called KeyPass, and allows me to have as many passwords and accounts as I want. And if somebody's looking over my shoulder, they don't see the password, they see asterisks. It's all masked. I can right click on an account, pick copy to keyboard, I can paste it into the application, and we're off and running. So please pick a strong password that is not used by anything else. We are taking a look at an SSH protocol, but for now, we know telnet is tried and true. So you're welcome to join us. The game is open 24/7, and like I said earlier in the stream, we are very much looking forward to our anniversary, New Year's Eve, 2020. 2020 was an awful year for everybody, and looking forward to 2021. And just pray that it's not worse. It's not worse. If anything's worse than 2020, I'm gonna jump off my roof. So yep. So stroke of midnight on 00:00, January 1, 2021 will just be the start of Core's 25th year, if you can believe that. So take care and enjoy.